You know what you gotta do now. Grab a pen. We about to write it down. Today is Sunday, so I have a new journal prompt that will continue the Write It Down series. And this one is about emotional triggers. Let's get into this prompt. You know what you gotta do now. Grab a pen. We about to write it down. You know what you gotta do now. Grab a pen. Write it down. For this week, I want you guys to really spend some time reflecting and analyzing your emotional triggers. Our emotional triggers are like signals that tells us that we're uncomfortable, that something is wrong. And a lot of times we spend time pointing at other people, blaming other people, right? Now, sometimes people is blame, but we are not in control of other people's actions. And I really want us to focus on taking accountability for things that we can control, right? Working on ourselves. That's the whole point of the Write It Down series, looking within and allowing ourselves to grow to be better, right? So with emotional triggers, sometimes it's what somebody said. It's how somebody's saying it, somebody's demeanor. Like there's a lot of different things that may trigger us, and it's important that we use these moments to reflect within ourselves. Why are you triggered? What is the root of this trigger? So I want you to spend some time this week to reflect, write out some of the things that trigger you, trying to get to the root of it. And then this is going to be a process. So it's not just a one-stop prompt, right? Because these are just things to bring to the forefront so that we can become more aware of ourselves, right? Self-care, self-love, self-awareness, right? Now with emotional triggers, there's different emotions that come up when you are triggered. So something may trigger you to anger, something may trigger you to sadness, something may trigger you to be very violent, right? You know, there's a lot of things that people can say and do that really like flip a switch, right? And a lot of times if it's bring up something that we have not addressed within ourselves, our reaction and the outcome can be really bad, right? And it comes to the point when we're able to really go within and address these triggers and start to work on it and start to heal and turn it around for ourselves, you will see how much more control that you have within yourself as you're moving about within the world. Like, for example, me being aware of certain things that trigger me. There's something that a friend has said to me and I said, dang, that used to trigger me. But I was able to react to her with more humor. I was able to react as a joke because it wasn't something that was unhealed for me, right? It's something that I addressed, I picked apart, and I kept moving forward. I was able to grow from that certain thing and realize the truth of it and then realize what was the illusion. So go within, address your emotional triggers, try to figure out what truly is bothering you and where it came from, and see if you can work towards bringing some peace and comfort to yourself as you understand more about it. Now, granted, there's going to be a lot of times where people say something that is completely out of pocket and you may have to check somebody. I understand that. But a lot of times the way that we're reacting to something is kind of distorted because of our triggers, right? And if we really want to have better relationships, better communities and things like that, we have to address the things that are really triggering us or bothering us, right? When you're in different spaces with different people, everybody doesn't know what your trigger is. Everybody's not aware. Now, if somebody is aware of your trigger and they're purposely doing something, that's a whole different conversation. But I want you to realize that sometimes we're in spaces with genuine people or communities where it is fruitful. And because of these triggers, we're not able to get the fruit of these communities or of these spaces, right? So what really triggers you? On Thursday, this is the big one for me. So Thursday, I want to share my response to this prompt. Emotional triggers is something that I've been working on. It's things that I've written in the past. And I want to talk about my growth with some of the triggers that I have addressed. On Thursday, you guys get to hear that. But for right now, I want you guys to write down this prompt, share this video, and then on Sunday, we'll have a whole new prompt to keep the Write It Down series going. So until then, my sugar babies, peace and love. You know what you gotta do now. Grab a pen. We about to write it down.